the feasibility of it. I think it will be very difficult. I'm not sure we will succeed, but it would be very important because we know that politicians work with figures and with indicators. And if we are able to do it, that will be a very good incentive to push for it. So that's the first thing. Universities, America and Europe. What we certainly are concerned with is to be sure of the attractiveness of the EU and European in general, a higher education area. That's what the Bologna process is about. Very interesting. By the way, we will have a ministerial meeting on Bologna at the end of the month. And we have a number, which is 41 countries, so beyond the EU as such, but we have a number of participation in a side forum with countries which are interested who want to participate, including the US. We will have a US participation in that. What we see, as I indicated, is that compared to America, our main problem is fragmentation. Too many universities wanting to all do the same thing. And not all universities can be top-class research universities, and the universities have other functions as well than being research. And that's why we are, and we just launched a call for tender. We would like to provide, with an independent body, for an alternative ranking to Shanghai. Because Shanghai ranking, which puts only 2 EU universities coming from the UK, which is Cambridge and Oxford, in the top 10, is only based on research. And the number of Nobel Prizes and things like that, which is very important, Nobel Prizes, but it's not necessarily the key element for a good university. So we would like to have a much more multidimensional approach. And the tender which we have published, and we are just in the process of selecting the consortium, the tender we have published will try to have a much more multidimensional approach. The various functions of universities, research certainly, but teaching, not the role of universities in regional and local development, very important. Employability, which is a very complicated story for universities. Which kind of job you get when you get out of a university. Adult participation, because more and more with demography, the role of universities in lifelong learning. So to have a set of indicators which will provide a much more sophisticated ranking and also much more by discipline. You are not necessarily the best university on nanotechnologies and on psychology. So if you have a much more disciplined approach, you could have, and that's what we aim at, have a metric which will show where universities are good, what is their strengths and weaknesses. So full transparency for students, I think, will be an important thing. So that's, and by the way, we have also a policy dialogue with the US. I'm going to the US at the end of September, a policy dialogue with the US on university cooperation.
I'm Rihova, I'm a scientist from Czech Republic. What concerns me a lot is the possibility to offer a competitive job for not only for graduate students, but those who are finishing their PhD studies. We put enormous money, time, and scientific enthusiasm in them, but then we are not able to offer them job, and they are leaving not only Czech Republic, what is very often happens, but also Europe, mostly to USA. So I would like just to say that we need to offer them, because they spend their most creative years abroad, not in Europe. So to do something for them.
Yeah, this is a brain drain problem, of course. We have two kind of actions on that. The first is a program or a policy development which we call New Skills for New Jobs, which is to be able to forecast, and we have already that done by an EU body called CDFOP, to forecast the labor market needs of the present and of the future, and the skill mismatches. Which kind of skills will we need in Europe for that. And already we can see that about 20 million of jobs will be created in the higher technical areas, that about the same will be created in more medium qualified for the services area, and that the low qualified jobs will diminish about by the same number. So if we have this forecast, and if we pull together, which we are doing, the employers, the trade unions, and the training providers of all kinds, I think we will help a lot. And this initiative, which is underway and which we will strengthen, could help in this context. The second element, when we discuss with the business sector, they are very nervous here in Europe with the lack of research engineers, more sophisticated maybe than in the past. I mean, transdisciplinary skills are very important. And our forum, Business and Universities, is also devoted to that. So again, we try to help to better match labor market demands and skills, in particular to avoid brain drain. That's very clear. That's, by the way, this kind of thing is a priority of the Czech presidency, of the present Minister for Education, certainly.
From Slovenia. I've been working in the field in innovation for a long time, and there are two really distinctive issues that are popping up. One is, and I wonder if you will address this at all, is that no matter how good a program you put in, the mindsets of policymakers, of those that actually support the execution of the project, is very vertical. They really are not trained and educated in horizontal cooperation. So I wonder if you have any program for that kind of group of people and actors in the innovation space to really be able to support. And they really try and want to, but they don't have knowledge. They really don't understand. And the second thing is that I find one of the biggest obstacles in the field is the cultural mindset of local communities where this innovation is created. So either with kids or with entrepreneurs or even larger companies, the local community mindset is not supportive enough. And again, what can we do? Because Europe are local communities. US doesn't have that, right? But we do have to address this a bit more openly, and probably through training and lots of projects that will really help communities to understand, parents, teachers, citizens, because it's good to just to create the sense that it's great to be innovator. Yeah. You know, it's great to stick out. Thank you.
No, you are absolutely right. And by the way, one of the objectives of the European year is also to raise awareness about that with all the interested stakeholders, and the local communities are very important. I mentioned that yesterday we had quite an interesting debate in the Committee of the Regions with young talents. We did that with... you were there as well, okay. And I think that's the kind of thing we can help to do with with regions and with local communities. We have a number of programs at EU level which can help that. The whole concept of lifelong learning is about that. And our program, in the program that my DG is running of lifelong learning, has innovation and partnership as one of its objectives. And being Erasmus, being Leonardo, which is about vocational training, which has a lot of innovation component, by the way, being Comenius, which is for schools and teachers, the role of teachers is extremely important. In this context, we try to help that with the program. The structural funds of the EU, which is the bulk of the money going to the regions and to the local communities, both through the regional fund, especially on research and innovation in general, and through the social fund on providing adequate training, can play a role in that. And one of our objectives in the year, again, is to try to help also the various EU funding to be better targeted. Because, I mean, we provide for the money, but at the very end, it's decided by local